heard us reference a project that's taking place in Africa a number of times. The project is called Akoin, and it is the creation of the rapper Akon. You've heard of him before, yeah? Big chart topper. And we have Akon with us today, along with John Karras. They are the co-founders of Akoin. Well, first of all, congratulations on your success as a singer, a songwriter, a producer.
Thank you, man.
That's awesome. What really fascinates me, though, is how you're taking that success and you want to have a massive impact on not just, your city, not just your fans, not a whole continent, right? You want to revolutionize the way that transactions are handled. So where did the idea for this come from?
Well, the idea came a while ago to actually really fulfill it. I mean, I was introduced to the crypto world shortly after the Olympics in South Africa, around 2010, 11 or something like that. But ultimately, when I went to Africa, I used to go there frequently doing the stuff with my solar projects and my energy company there. But when I had money and I would, actually go back through, France to, connect to maybe going to the US, there was a time where I was trying to take my CFA, which is the money that France made for Senegal, to trade with, and I was trying to trade that for euro. And as I got to the trading booth to trade the money in, they was like, I'm sorry, we don't take that. I said, what do you mean? I just want to trade it over for some euro. They said, well, we don't take CFI in France. I said, well, you guys made this money for us in Africa. You mean to tell me the money that you've made for us is not worth anything in France? So I can't trade that for euros? They was like, no, unfortunately. And I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. So we have to have our own currency that actually has some kind of value that we can trade outside of the United States. And when the conversation of, Bitcoin and crypto and all this was coming about, at that moment, a big light bulb blinked, and I was like, this is going to be the solution for Africa for sure.
It's really interesting. I mean, that when we were having some conversation with some folks who've been to different countries all around the world and talking about how certain people are using crypto. I guess my question would be, what about the folks that don't have phones, or maybe they have blackouts and they don't have electricity, or they can't charge their device, or they don't have a smartphone? Like, how is Akoin going to work in a situation like that?
Well, the beautiful part about it is there's no one in Africa that doesn't have a cell phone. We got over 1.4 billion people in Africa, and most of them have two cell phones or more, which is crazy, because even now, majority of their stuff is actually based on the cell phone transactions, all the way down to paying their bills and everything. So that's the beauty of it, But ultimately,
it's like the T9 type of phones, though, right? The T9.
Right.
There are right now about 450 million smartphones, and by the end of next year, by the end of 2021, they say it'll be over 600 million smartphones across Africa. One of the great things that Akon's done with Akon Lighting Africa has brought solar lighting to 18 countries and over 400 different projects that were put in through requests for proposals, and that just continues to expand out, so people have access to power for charging, and that's a big issue that's been in the process of being solved. But again, 600 million people get you a lot of reach. That's pushing up on a huge percentage of the population in sub-Saharan Africa.
That is huge. John, you've been in the entertainment industry and the finance industries for a very long time. You've been with William Morris. And so I'm assuming that you've known Akon for a while. And this, did he share the problem with you and you're like, oh, we should solve that? How did that happen?
Some years. So Akon and I have been working together for a bunch of years. We're partners in a whole number of ventures, but this is absolutely his dream and vision. We have a mutual friend and an old friend of Akon's in Brock Pierce, who's inspired him about the possibilities of blockchain and pulled him into some different things through the years. But Akon came to me and said, we've got to figure out how to build something that can do X, Y, and Z. And then I went off and found Lynn Liss, our co-founder and COO. And together, the three of us have gone off and built an amazing world-class core team that will grow and expand as we come through our launch and our token generation event, which is upcoming. But this is completely Akon's vision, and we ran with that and found that the real opportunity as a a last mile solution to essentially supercharge prepaid cell minutes, which are a store of value across Africa, and people are currently using them for all kinds of transactions. So we've teamed up with one of our partners in BitMinutes and Stellar, and we're an anchor solution on the Stellar network to come up with a way to, again, supercharge those prepaid cell minutes and have them become instantly convertible through an internal conversion mechanism, so they can move from fiat currencies like dollar, euro, pound, RMB to prepaid cell minutes to a bunch of cryptocurrencies. So supercharging those cell minutes allows us to help bank the unbanked and make those prepaid cell minutes something that many people in Africa use, have more power for transactions. But that's Akon's vision. That's his idea. He said, this is what I want to do, and we had to figure out how to do it. So, he's the visionary behind this. We just implement.
Right. So to add on to that, in case some people got lost in the process, basically in Africa, as you know, a lot of the currencies there are very untrusted, and a lot of them are very unstable. They continue to go up and down, and there's not no real stability. So the people and the locals a lot of times are using cell phone minutes to purchase things. In other words, they will go to the market to buy fish or vegetables or fruit, and instead of giving them actual fiat currency, they would actually trade cell phone minutes as value for that fruit or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So cell phone minutes became actually a trading mechanism for, the people there. So we created what you call the atomic swap under the Akoin platform that allows you to take your existing cell phone minutes and turn that into Akoin to utilize Akoin as a trading mechanism for you.
Yeah, that's amazing. And the ability that you're doing is to creating a city. So you're working with Senegal, and they gave you 2,000 acres of land. And I'm sitting there looking at the map, and it's near Dakar, right? And it's on this little peninsula on the westernmost part of Africa. That looks like amazing prime land. It would seem like might be some beaches there or something, just because the locations just looks amazing. Like, I think I want to move, because any way I can help I want to be a citizen. Is this possible? It's going crazy here in America.
What he's sharing is that unfortunately they didn't give him the land; he had to buy it.
I had to buy the land. Nice, yeah.
Part of the team that's building out Akon City is the Akon initially, and then the financiers will help to defray those expenses as the rest of the land purchase price is paid as things are built on it. But it is an amazing, world-class, crypto-powered, forward-thinking city of the future. And there's some bigger announcements coming on that in the coming weeks.
So tell us a bit about Akon City. We had John here telling us a little bit about it. It looks like it's just prime real estate you got right there on the beach. And also, again, Joel, when we were talking ahead of time, he goes, "What? He wasn't born in Senegal. It says here on Wikipedia he was born in St. Louis." And it's like, St. Louis, Senegal. There it is.
Yeah, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and raised in Senegal.
See there, Travis?
But I did see there's St. Louis right there in Senegal. That's right. It's right
north
of
there's actually a St. Louis in Senegal where half my life I was there, right next to Kaolack. So it was ironic that I was born in St. Louis in Missouri, but then raised in St. Louis in Senegal.
That is
crazy,
funny.
Right?
Travis is in Missouri. He's outside of Kansas City.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So you're not far.
Not too far.
Yeah, and you guys are close to the same age, I think, right? Travis, how old are you?
I turned 47 this year.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I turned 20 young.
You turned 20 young? That's good.
Now, I'm pretty sure, Akon, that you turn 47 in just a few days here.
Yeah, I'm right around the corner, baby.
Happy birthday, good sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. My big brother.
I want to talk a little bit about the coin itself and how, what's the coin going to be used for, and then how are they going to get distributed?
Here I can tackle that for a brief second. One of the real keys is it is, again, a digital payment solution, supercharging those prepaid cell minutes, that internal atomic swap / conversion mechanism that's proprietary. The real core of the business is our DApp store, as it were, our decentralized app platform built into our wallet. And so our real belief is there are all kinds of amazing crypto solutions out there, blockchain solutions out there that users need to find across Africa, India, rising economies. And so we are, serving as a hub to present those to people and to help those solutions rise. That's really more of the business aspect of our business. The token is really meant to be purely a utility coin, to be a digital payment solution to supercharge those prepaid sell minutes, that frequently used store of value that Akon was just describing.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's going to be solar powered, right? There's a lot of sunlight in Africa. It seems like the probably the best sort of energy source would be solar. So that's very intuitive to have that. And it looks like that the whole city will be solar powered. How does one even begin to build the infrastructure of a brand new city? It just seems like from scratch, like that's got to be a daunting task. Like, how have you guys gone about the planning and the execution of launching a city? That's just so daunting, it seems like.
No, it's actually very fun. I'm learning a lot in the process of it. Obviously the first big step is really, designing the city as to what it's going to look like, what it's going to feel like, what the main purpose of the city is, and, ultimately how it all comes together. And then from there, you just slowly find each partner in every one of those sectors that the best of what they do and bring them on board. And that's what I've been pretty much doing. We got a consultancy company that we just teamed up with that's bringing on board all the necessary businesses and companies and, contracts that we'll need to close out. So they're handling a lot of that stuff for us as far as bringing in the right partners that's going to be able to make the city start from zero all the way up to completion.
They help to bring the financing, the construction teams, and some of the subcontractors and all of that. Fantastic group.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, it's got to be expensive to be like all the buildings and all the the plumbing and all that stuff. I mean, that's got to be billions and billions and billions of dollars. I was like, man, you must have sold more records than I thought.
It's a $7 billion project. It's estimated to be a $7 billion project right now. It may increase, it may not. It all depends on the technology and how it grows.
I love that you're building this on Stellar. We just interviewed Jed McCaleb for the second time, and we've been big fans of Stellar and how fast that blockchain. Yeah, and you're doing a lot of things with this project. It's not just the token; it's the DApp marketplace, it's atomic swaps, it's the Akon city, and I'm thinking this is just what you've got on the roadmap here. I can't even imagine what else you might be dreaming up for the long term.
Oh man,
we have some big announcements.
I have kind of a funny question here, just because I'm a joker. So I noticed I was reading an article that said that you have 7 wives. How do you handle all of them bitching at you at the same time?
Dude, listen, I wish I had those many wives, but guess what? If they do say whatever you put out in the air eventually will one day come true. So I just go along with it and hope it one day come true.
Oh, I know. I was going to say, if that's part of the deal, I'm definitely moving to Akon City.
Right.
I'm going to not put my foot in it right here. I'm just going to leave that.
Very wise.
I'm going to leave that sit right there where it is. And because I know some people wouldn't be happy if I.
No, it's so funny, Joel. Before the show, he's like, "I don't know if you should ask him that. He might get mad at us, and we may not want to work with us at all." And I'm like, "Oh no, he's no snowflake. He's gonna laugh about that."
Dude, I don't know any guy that wouldn't love to have multiple wives. Obviously, no one would ever admit that in front of their wife, but I'm sure there's a fantasy that we all hold deep inside that we just cherish one day that could possibly come true.
Then you got to figure out which one am I going to sing "Smack That" to.
No, you got all of them. It's line them up.
You have to retitle the song and call it "Smack That" and that and that and that
and that one.
There's an article that dates back a few years from 2013 with CNN, and you said you want to make the biggest impact in Africa. If I could have my way, Africa would be the United States of Africa. So there's something there in that vision that you have. I mean, would you ever consider running for office?
Of course, in the beginning, I always said to myself that I would never run for president. But I know as I get a lot older, get a lot wiser, and sit still, there's going to be a lot of changes that I'm going to want to make, and I know to be in office may be the only way to make it. So I'm not discounting, running in the future perhaps. But I mean, as of right now, my main focus is to get the city up and going, build some real equity into Africa, and give people a real, place to live in a, safer, more transparent world to be a part of. And then from there, we'll see where everything goes. But I can definitely see myself going into politics to make some real changes eventually.
What is your sort of the long-term, vision for Africa? Are you planning on working with some of these other countries? And I know you're already doing that with your solar power, so you're already having a huge impact in Africa in a lot of ways. So maybe, what does the next few steps look like after the city's done?
I mean, that's my life goal, is to franchise the city all throughout Africa, go to every country and put an Akon city there, so that way all the cities can be interconnected and be able to communicate with each other, create opportunities from entertainment to education to healthcare to everything in these cities, so that way, no matter how or what's going on within those cities, there's a safe ground that people can go to live a really normal life and expand from there to go out. Ultimately, I think, what you say does make a lot of sense. Whenever you're trying to do something great, you're always going to be a target. But ultimately, the way I see it, nothing great comes without sacrifice or consequence. Even when you look at all the prophets, all the way down to Jesus, he was crucified for trying to do the right thing. So I think that comes with making change. You got to be fearless and just walk in God's way, and whatever happens is God's will. But at the end of the day, I'll try to do as much as I possibly can to make people, or put people in a better, comfortable position to live in a better way. So that way my name is just not in vain, and I'm not known for singing and dancing when it's all over.
That's a beautiful vision, and we appreciate that. The website is Akoin, AKOIN.io. And if I may, Akon, can I play a quick speed round with you here?
Absolutely.
I just I want to say a few names of people that you may have worked with, and just share whatever you want to share about them. All right. So
No
Snoop Dogg.
Uncle Snoop. That's my dog. That's my dog right there, man. Super humble, down to earth. Always been positive and always lended a hand where he could. He's someone I can say nothing but great things about, for sure.
Michael Jackson.
Oh man, legend. I mean, that's another person that I wish that people could have seen him in the light in which I've seen him, because with his name is so much stigma, and it's so much that you think about when you think Michael Jackson, and no one knows that half the things that you might have thought about him was all false, even from the standpoint of who he was as a person, because he had two personalities. One, when he stepped out that door, and the most loving, fun, extremely just generous person behind closed doors. Like, he was super sensitive and just loved people, and I really wanted people to see that side, outside of all the controversy that was attached to someone that didn't deserve none of that stuff.
The beautiful Whitney Houston.
Oh man, that's another one of my girls. Now Whitney, me and her we had a ball. Like, Whitney was someone that actually surprised me, because she's kind of totally a little bit different. Whereas, there was a big thing of, it's like the way they seen her was totally different from what she's just super fun. Like,
Bobby Brown brought that out of her, I guess, huh?
I don't know. I think she might have been the one that made Bobby bad.
Oh no, nice.
But in a good way though. In a good way though. Like, she was obviously a very strong black woman, but super fun. She spoke her mind, but she just never, she was very unapologetic. She just wanted to have fun and enjoy life as it was, and I think people might have translated that differently.
Just one more, and I think I know what you're going to say, because all the interviews I've seen with him seem like he's just an amazing human being. Lionel Richie.
Oh, no, listen, Lionel, that right there, I call him the storyteller. Lionel is so amazing, but just being around Lionel and the stories that he tells teaches you so much about history, the music business, Motown, him, even you, like, you see. But he's just an amazing guy, man. I don't think there's anyone that's ever met Lionel that can tell you anything negative about that guy.
Yeah, that guy doesn't age. I think he might be a vampire.
No, he's Benjamin Button for sure. Like,
it's
that's
crazy.
Benjamin Lionel right there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, I want to ask one thing about Akon City, because you're going to be you're going to be near the beach. It's all this property right there. So you're going to be building like your own sort of South Beach, maybe West Beach there. That's just, the clubs are just going to be ridiculous. I can just imagine.
Now listen, Akon city. Listen, you won't believe me. You gotta understand my core. I'm an entertainer first before anything.
Yeah.
So there's no way you're gonna come to my city and not be entertained.
Oh yeah.
That's
We're gonna have a Super Bowl there.
Speaking on that part, that's almost a given.
Yeah. I could envision it already. That's why I was like, dang, I need a passport.
Right, you gotta have one, man.
Anyhow, we know you got a lot going on. John and Akon, thanks so much for joining us today. We wish you the absolute best with your project and your big visions for bringing crypto and a new digital economy to Africa.